Hello there, I am back with another video. Three new stories again for you. First one is from the Amhara region. Fano fighters are showing more prisoners of war, POWs, if this is the right term. Jula, military chief, Ethiopian military chief, challenged Fano fighters 3 days ago. Since then, we have been seeing new videos on daily basis showing ENDF members taken prisoner by Fano fighters. Secondly, Mekelle Tigray, the capital where Getachew tried to justify government position a few hours ago about crackdown on opposition leaders. Opposition parties' leaders were arrested, they were released, and they were re-arrested, it seems. Lastly, viewers, Amhara regional government is trying to show as if everything is normal in the Amhara region. Today, on Wednesday, some aid organizations officials, UN and others, they visited Bahir Dar regional capital. What was the agenda? Who received them? What was discussed in the regional capital? Firstly, viewers, it was Berhano Jula, Ethiopian military chief, who at the start of this week challenged Fano fighters. In an interview, he said that the extremist robbers in the Amhara region were spreading false information. No helicopters captured by them, no tanks captured by them, no generals taken prisoner. They, Fano fighters, did not name them, they were spreading propaganda. And after that, we saw start of release of videos. Now, almost on daily basis, we are seeing videos showing ENDF soldiers who have been taken prisoner by Fano fighters. Fano leaders close to them, people close to them, they say that Fano factions don't operate like TDF. When Tigray forces, Tigray fighters captured ENDF members, those ENDF members were sent to one location and then they were being kept there in makeshift prisons in Mekelle. That is why it was easy for Tigray fighters to show big number of ENDF POWs in one video, in one location. But Fano factions are operating differently. They are operating separately. Several Fano factions operating separately. They have Fano fighters, they have ENDF soldiers as POWs in their custody. But they are not sending all these POWs to one location. They are keeping them in different locations. That is why we're seeing videos with small number of ENDF POWs. But still, though this explanation makes sense, but still I don't think that Fano fighters have captured 10,000 ENDF soldiers. It was claimed through Ethio 360 by a Fano commander 2 days ago. But Jula should stay silent, I think, because if next time he challenged Fano, you could see more such videos. Watch the video shared by Fano fighters showing ENDF soldiers taken prisoner who were made to chant that Fano will be victorious, Fano will win. Watch the video, then next news story. Secondly, viewers, Tigray Mekelle, where opposition parties announced to protest in Mekelle on Thursday. Government refused to give permission. Opposition launched a preparatory rally on Tuesday. Opposition parties' workers, leaders arrested. Then Getachew held a press briefing and he tried to justify government crackdown on opposition parties. He took this position that opposition can protest, but venue and time, date will be decided by the government. There is threat to such gatherings. He was not very convincing because a few days ago there was a big Shinda gathering in Tigray capital Mekelle. After Getachew's press briefing, before that, these opposition party leaders were released. But immediately after their release, they were re-arrested. Why? Because opposition parties still have not officially called off Thursday's protest. They still maintain that they'll protest on Thursday in Mekelle. 5 parties, 1 withdrawn, maybe under pressure, withdrew. That is a Simba party of Dorias Kedam. Other 4 still saying they'll protest, though their top leaders in prison. Batona, Salsevajene, Tigray Independence Party and Tigray Arena Party. 4 still say that they are going to postpone the protest. They'll protest on Thursday. Just one point I want to make. I never rated these opposition parties as a big political threat to the strength of TPLF. Because these parties, each of them got a few thousand votes in 2020 regional election. But the way Getachew held a press briefing, tried to justify crackdown on these parties and try to share details of his government's performance in the last 5 months, it seems that maybe there is change in Tigray, slight change. These opposition parties, through creation of an alliance, are trying to pose a challenge to the TPLF. And TPLF is panicking a little, I think. The TPLF has been the sole major political power in Tigray for decades. This monopoly on political power seems to be diminishing, or it is in danger, it seems, though still we cannot say that these parties jointly can defeat TPLF in the upcoming election. But the way Tigray government is reacting, there is some resentment against the government in Tigray. And secondly, politically, it was a bad move by Tigray interim government to ban Thursday's protest. I think these opposition parties will make calls for bigger, frequent protests in future. You will see that. Tigray People Liberation Front, Tigray interim government are making these relatively small parties significant. National media, Tigrayan diaspora, Tigrayan state media, all are talking about Thursday's protests. But means that opposition parties have managed to register an influence in Tigray. They are there and they could be a challenge to the TPLF. That's what happens in coming hours in Mekelle. Thirdly, viewers, while Fano fighters are sharing pictures from the town which are under their control, Amhara regional government is trying to give this impression as if everything is normal in the Amhara region, nothing happening. 8 organizations, representatives were invited to Bahir Dar on Wednesday. More than 8 organizations, representatives arrived in Bahir Dar, welcomed by Erega Kabbe, the newly elected Amhara regional president. UNOCHA, UN agencies on migration, agriculture, and refugees were part of the team of organizations whose representatives visited Bahir Dar. What was the agenda? Agenda of this visit was to announce aid for those areas of the Amhara region which were damaged during the 2-year-long war, Tigray conflict. Very interesting. While Amhara regional government is receiving support, or organizations are committing to support rebuilding, reconstruction of those areas which were hit during Tigray conflict, a new conflict is already ongoing. That is why this visit was interesting for me. How can rebuilding, reconstruction done in the region while a new conflict is ongoing? Regional government is not in full control. Basically, government tried to tell the international community that it is in control of the situation in the region, which is not what is on the ground situation. What on the ground situation is. On the ground situation is different.